Hello, everybody. Welcome to this special start time podcast of Black Ace Friday Fun. Two guests coming this week. One of them is here already. Open Poncho will jump in shortly. Oh, he's around talking. So I hope everybody is ready for a lot of discussion, a lot of probing questions. Maybe not. So what are you up to today, Gary? We'll take a few minutes waiting for Poncho. What kind of a Friday evening do you have planned?
Yeah, well, it's just what? It's now 8 p.m. at night here. Where's that music? Is that your music playing?
Always forget to turn it off.
I thought I'd done something and I was playing a test music.
It's like, speak up, boy. Oh, okay. So Foggy's just going to be in the background listening because we should be able to just chat away. So what do you got going tonight? You got...
I have no runners tonight. I have
no runners.
My next runner is the classic consolation for 2-year-olds and then the classic final for 4-year-olds. That's my next runners and Digital Downs. This time of the season, I always start to slow down a wee bit, try and sort the horses out for the new season coming in, you know.
I hear you. I'm going to ping Poncho to say,
where are you?
He's coming in. And if not, we will just go ahead without him. So we will give him a few minutes, and while we wait for him, I will go over some of the stuff that is going on the site right now. There is a finals for the Classic running tomorrow with all Gary horses.
I wish.
Sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
There is an auction for yearlings coming up on the 31st. Special auction in the middle of the week. And last year, if you recall, it was very active. Wait a minute. Oh, yes. Another guest. Okay, what's the name here?
This is Holly.
Holly?
Yep.
So what do we got? A Cocker Spaniel mix?
Yeah, no, that's a purebred Blue Roan Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. How old?
Blue Roan.
She is 2 years this October. She keeps clawing up my leg for attention. That's why I left her.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. So Poncho's chatting to me. Good afternoon, Poncho here. I'm asking him if he's coming in to I thought he meant he was actually going to show up and talk to us, but okay.
Yeah.
We'll see if he comes in or not. But what I was saying is the auction on the 31st, if you remember last year's auction, it was, I want to say at least 4 horses were over $250 or $300. I did notice, I believe one of those horses got runner-up in either the finals or consolation of the stayer, I believe. I think it was Southbound Train. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I saw that, which would be great. I'm being told that Poncho needs about 5 minutes. So I will also mention the World Stakes, which is ran on the 31st. The World Stakes has events at all distances for 2-year-olds, and they are $10 entry, but they do not split. So if you are interested in them, make sure you enter and not just queue them up. One of those, the 11 furlong running, is for the 99 and under horses. So they will actually get their chance to shine. 3-year-old and up has its own division. and 5-year-old and up has some races as well, and I believe those are allowed to split. So that's some of the goings on. I believe in the forum, Bob posted, well, I know that he posted next season's layout for Breeders' Cup Stakes, that type of thing. Did you get a chance to look at that, Gary?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I haven't
Steve?
yet.
Take a
No,
look
I
at
haven't. I've been.
Well, you guys aren't any good guests.
I know, right? I'm gonna
Some
pull
of
it
us,
up right
some of
now
us
and
work
take
for a
a look.
living. I done 16 hours straight the other day on Wednesday, and
You work.
I don't.
You work. Okay, we'll get into that. Don't be trying to bring up things I'm going to ask about. Come on now. All right. Well, anyway, he put the listing up. There's a change in the scoring format, so you will get a lot more points for first, second, and third.
Yes, I read a wee bit of that now, in fairness.
And that way, you don't necessarily have to run every single qualifier. You can get a lot of points just by placing in the top 3.
Well, that's good for
You
late
also-
horses.
What's that?
That's good for late horses. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
pull a decent
That's
one
another good thing. Yeah.
in the last month of the season or something, at least you have a chance. Run it 2 or 3 times, get a good finish. You're making the final race.
Heck,
You know?
yeah. Yep. The other thing is there's some, I think they're to be determined. Just put that they're going to be there. You can actually just win one race and automatically qualify. And I think there's 2 automatics in each.
Yeah, there seems to be 2 in the sprint.
So that's pretty cool too. If your
Turf.
horse is born late or you just want to run a few, especially if you win that first one. Now, of course, you're going to still want to run and make money if it's a good horse, but you're not necessarily dead focused on, I got to run, I got to score points, I got to score points, because you've already got yourself in. So you might be a little selective on when and how you run. Still waiting for Poncho, but we're going to kick off a little bit with Gary with some of the questions that I normally ask. So, Gary,
Yep.
tell us where you come from. Where were you born? Where do you reside?
I live in Northern Ireland, the north of Ireland, not the south of Ireland. The north of Ireland, which is part of the UK,
Yes.
but it's part of Ireland, is the whole of Ireland, if you know what I mean. It's not on the mainland. It's but it's still under UK, under British rule, if you know what I mean. We're here, we spend sterling, 10 mile down the road to spend euros. It's a totally different concept, probably a bit like America and Mexico or America and Canada, but we have no borders here. It's quite good. It's good.
It's been a little bit of a contention, if I recall.
Oh yeah, years ago. Still get a little bit of it now and again, but I live in a nice, wee, quiet village. It's very good now. It's the best place in the world. It's the most beautiful country in the world. Scenery and stuff like that there. It's breathtaking, you know what I mean? But again, the press always give it a bad rap, if you know what I mean.
They do.
Years ago and stuff
we all
like
just
that.
think there's Molotov cocktails flowing around every day,
I go to England now and again to the racing, and people actually still think that you're walking around with bombs going off beside you and everything else.
So it's not you're saying it's not a bunch of drunk guys throwing Molotov cocktails? Is that
No.
what you're saying? No, okay.
Sometimes on Saturday night in the local bar, maybe that sort of way.
We have a new member joining the show.
There he is.
There he is.
Poncho.
Good afternoon, all.
How are you
Hello,
doing?
Pancho.
I'm good. Sorry for the late thing.
No,
I have
that's all right. That's all right.
connectivity issues. I'm using my phone. I tried the laptop, but I didn't have Chrome and some other things downloaded, so I just switched back to my phone.
Back to the phone. Okay. Well, Darren, I think last week was on the phone, and he seemed.
So how you guys going?
We're doing good. I'm starting the question process, and you're just in time to tell us
I reached in just in time.
Just in time to tell us where you were born, where you live, if it's all the same place. Some
All right,
people know, some people don't. So it'll be interesting to hear.
Well, I love to know who knows. They can start to tell me.
Well, I know, and Bob knows. You know, you're using the flag, so we just assume you're telling the truth.
All right. Well, I was born in the Caribbean, in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mhm.
So I'm from the Caribbean. I was born in Port of Spain, in Trinidad. Lovely country, sunny. Not sure you know about it.
I do.
I've been
know all
there.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I've
It's
been
one of
there.
the few countries
Mm-hmm.
that has its own GDP that's
Yeah.
technically petroleum. I mean, supports its own.
Yes.
So it's
correct.
one of the most advanced financial systems, and I know that a little bit from my banking background.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I have a quick question for you
Sure.
regarding that. I
Mm-hmm.
was looking earlier at your coat of arms,
Right.
which is very beautiful. If people haven't
Thanks.
seen it,
Thank
tell
you.
me what it says at the bottom.
Quote with every creed and race.
It says, "Together,
Together we
we
aspire.
inspire."
Together we achieve.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Okay, but it is a beautiful coat of arms.
Okay. I try to go with that mental right through it, anything that I do. All this thing must have togetherness. Must. It's a must.
Must.
I will never fail.
So you born there, you live there.
Yes,
and
I
you're
am.
gonna stay there forever.
I wouldn't say so. I
Oh,
have
no?
family in America, in Flatbush. I have some family in
Oh.
Canada also. So I want to come to Canada, hopefully not next year after, to do a little visiting.
Yep. Now, do you have a dog? Because Gary has a dog. He keeps showing me.
I had dogs. I don't have any dogs living in house right now. I had pit bulls. I used to
Pit
breed and sell. Yeah, I used to breed and sell.
But, did you?
Yeah,
my
but present,
he does the breeding and selling. Yeah.
but present, I don't have any. But I'm looking to get back into it probably by the end of the year for Christmas. God spare.
Okay. Gary.
Yo.
Let me know if I'm right here, but don't you build furniture or something? I'm not saying that's what you do for a living, but
No. I used to do that during the summer months to make a bit extra cash.
you used to post some of your.
Yeah, we used to do that for a bit of spare cash to feed my digital downs addiction.
Well, that was
I knew Pancho was low on money, so I had to donate to him. You know what I mean? When he was winning races and stuff, so I had to go and build furniture just so we could clean up a wee bit more. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you in advance.
Do you want to tell us what you actually do to earn money?
Well, I was a coach driver for years. I used to do coach tours all around Ireland, Europe, Scotland, England, Wales, France, Italy, all that. Then COVID kicked in, so all that stopped. So I was at engineering for a while, but now I'm actually lifting dead animals. That's what I do for a living now at this moment in time. I go and lift dead horses, dead cattle, dead sheep, just round all the farms around Northern Ireland here. I cover the whole of the north of Ireland. I start at 6 o'clock every morning and work to finish. So
that's unique.
Started at 6 o'clock on Wednesday morning, didn't get finished at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night.
A lot of deceased animals, huh?
Yeah, you just have to, I could work 4 hours one day, I could work 15 hours the next day. It's just all depends what comes in, because when they're over 4 years old, they have to be lifted within 24 hours and taken back to the factory for testing for mad cow disease and all that. So it's not just a matter of lifting an animal.
We got a special.
There's a baby Pancho in the background.
Yeah, who we got here? Bring him on. Bring him on.
What did that guy's call him there, William? Maybe
is that a yearling, is it? Or is that a 2-year-old?
A year and a half.
So, Pancho, what do you do for a living? Are you retired?
Well, I'm not retired as yet. I'd like to be. But I am a senior outside plant attendant. I used to work in the, let's say, telecommunication fields.
Communication. I'm sorry. What was
Yes.
the? I'm sorry. I heard the communication, but the
telecommunication phones.
oh,
So
okay.
like data, cable, underground, overhead. Yeah.
So you get a lot of free perks out of that. Free phones and free service, and
we used to get free credits, and we used to get discount on phones prices.
How long you been doing that?
25 years.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Nice.
You make me feel old.
They won't let you go, probably. You probably know everything, and they won't let you go.
Well, to be honest, I want to do further some studies for the medication. It gonna go deeper into the field. So I want to take some time off and do some studies. So they're allowing me, or if not, I'll have to leave. But I just want to branch off and do other things too now. After so long doing one thing,
exactly.
A different thrill. Different
You're not going
excitement.
to go be a circus clown or anything, are you?
If it makes money,
be that far off, is it?
No problem.
So I'm going to ask you this question first.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever owned a horse or been part of an owner of a horse?
Yes. Well, all three, to be exact, started off my father. He had horses.
He had horses.
So, yeah, he was an owner, and I used to be with him from the tender age of 6 years old in the racetrack with him. So after he died in 97. I did my trainer's license. I got it. I passed it, and I took over the horses he had at that point in time. Training. Yeah, I had horses up until 2016 is when I sold my last set of horses. About 5 or 6 years ago. So I was a full-time trainer, private trainer. Used to train for myself, or if somebody bring a horse, I train it for them also.
Wow,
it's something I love. It's a passion I love.
It's all over your life.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Everything. Gary, what'd you own? Tell me a horse you own.
Well, I've been on a few syndicates. There's, Northlands and Anfield. That's how I got to know them two guys.
Okay.
In syndicates that own syndicate, Duke's Head syndicate that owned horses, and we've had a few horses together and stuff like that. We've been involved. There was a horse, Hillgrove Angel was a very good horse, and there was a couple of other members of the syndicate owned a horse called Lady Prancelot.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, they bought the horse and they sold the horse for 86,000. And the horse went 86,000.
Okay.
The horse went to America. The horse run at the Breeders' Cup. Had done really well in America. They sent it the foal or the stud or whatever. It sold for 1.6 million.
Shit.
1.6 million. Look it up, Lady Prancelot. I can't remember the name of the people that had it. Run at the Breeders' Cup. It won a couple of 100,000 there in races and stuff like that there. But I actually watched the auction live when they were selling it, and I couldn't believe it. It started about 800,000, went up to 1.6 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
but you got your money earlier, and you probably
it
turned into that much.
Syndicate was happy enough to sell it, for 84,000. We thought we only paid $8,000 for the horse to start off with, we only, thought, happy days, money in. Then I went to America, started winning hand over fist, and then next thing, I just it make you sick to the stomach, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It is what it is. It probably never would have run as well over here as it did there, So
yeah, that's probably true. Okay.
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
probably it's a luck and chance.
Yeah, you really don't know what would have happened. As they say, time and space would have been different.
Correct.
Do you guys like to bet on the horses?
Oh yeah,
I used to. I used to bet heavy.
Bet heavy.
When I lose, I'm upset. I want to talk to nobody.
Yeah, exactly. So what type? You do the pick six or exact?
I do
they call it something different or
exacta, trifecta. I do plenty wheels. Sometimes wins alone, win and place.
Yeah.
I never tried the pick six and stuff. I said, boy, to get 1 or 2 winners had 6. That even worse. But
you're betting over there Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pancho.
No, I used to say I more used to bet on my horses. Like if Gary had a horse and he sold Pancho, it had good chance today. I'll take a little choke on it. But more so, I used to more keep it in my stable.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
But
there's
your
no
betting
rule
over there is
against
all
betting.
different to our betting here. Like, you know, we're here, we have an each way bet, which you call the place and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where we can pick like 4 or 5 horses and like 4 or 5 different races to do each way. They only have to place within the first 3, or if it's over 8, if there's 9 in the field, or if
Well,
there's 8 in the field, it's the first 3, 16 in the field, it's the first 4. If there's a lot of the bookmakers do offers, 16 or more, they'll pay up to the first 5 or 6 horses to finish it, so you get a good return if you're doing each way bets and stuff like that there. We seem to play more for the exactas and the trifectas and all over there, compared to here in UK. Like,
well, yeah, I play plenty exactas, trifectas, and more or less it's almost the same up to the field of 16, where they'll pay 4, because that's the most that gets to run in our races down here. A full field will be 16, but normally it's 10 or 12, and they pay first through third. Win place, they used to play show, they cut out the show and just have winner place now each way.
See,
well, we have big
that's
handicap.
all too confusing for us Americans. We just want to know. With the trifecta, you bet 2, you bet 3, you bet 4.
Yeah, it has pick 6, has pick 4, had the same 3-way pay, like you said. All that is the same. There's just no more show. It used to have show, but they stopped the show, as I said, and there's have place now, win and place. But all the exactas, all the wheels, all the trifectas, pick 5, pick 6, yes, has all those.
What's the biggest odds horse you ever bet on that won a race?
My old man horse, actually, it was 99 to 1.
Oh, on the
One
tote
of
board,
his
but what
horses,
was
yeah.
it? Was it really 99 to 1, or was sometimes they show 99 to 1, but they're like 140 to 1?
It paid $102 to win, and $57.20 to place.
Now, how did that horse win?
$10 on it. At $20, at 10 wins and 10 place.
Did you think he was going to win at all? I mean,
well, I know you'll run first or second, but I was balling all the way down the stretch.
Wow.
Like, man. I was balling more than the jockey, and my father was behind me.
Well, we've had a couple of nice big price winners as well. Like our horses, we had a horse called Silver Springs, won at 33 to 1. Okay. Trainer gave us one called Peak Hill. We backed it at 100 to 1, and it won at 50 to 1 on the day. And a big handicap, like straight up the rail. Got to the lead and nothing got near it. And that was a good day. Like, that was a good day.
Steve, how about you? I'm going to make you answer that.
A horse called Peaches Ann. The horse, for some reason, I had no reason to bet. I didn't like anything in the race, so I just threw $5 to win in place on it. It went off at like 99 to 1 on the board. I think it ended up at 108 to 1, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And the horse never won again. And it raced like 15 more times, and it never saw the first, second, or third in any of them.
But you got it. You got it.
I got it when it was hot.
There was a horse used to run at the Breeders' Cup run a couple of times called Bobby's Kitten or something. I backed it a couple of times and it won a big prices. I think it was about 33 to 1 and 40 to 1 or something. The 2 times I backed it.
Yeah, you have $2 on it.
What do you say? Did
you put $2 on it?
Oh no.
Oh gosh, well, that's good. That's good. Those are good. I thought you guys were gonna say, yeah, I hit a 40 to 1 on the Derby or something. Wow, 100 to 1, all of you.
Get a few nice touches.
All right, now we're gonna shift to digital downs. Okay,
mm-hmm.
We're done with the world of real horse racing. We're going to digital downs, and this question I ask people, but I really want to hear this from Pancho. How did you find digital downs?
Actually, I was on another site, and a member from here was on that site also, and he threw it out to me. He said, "Boy, over here ain't making sense. Try DD." I said, "What is DD?" He says, "Digital racing form, and he hooked me up. And from then, ever since I've been here, for 4 years, because it was like 2018 April, came in as a young side, came in into the last 10 days of the season in April. That was my first experience with Digital Downs. And has been excellent since. It was all that it was meant to be. I don't think it's getting better and stronger.
Is that person still race here? The one you don't have to tell us who it is.
No, I think he's come and go. I saw he sent a message not too long ago that he want to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
But he's
well, I was going to tell you, go tell him to come back. There's been a lot of Gary, how about you? Did you come here with some buddies, or how did you get?
It was actually Northlands told me about the site. He fell into the site and he texted me one night because I used to play on another site too, but I fell out with them big time. He told me to come on and try it out, and I come on and I tried it out. I got speaking to Bob, and I come on, and I'm here ever since. Just sort of when I get into something, I'm in it for the long haul. You know, that sort of way. Like, got a few ups and downs in the road with different things. Like, as I say, my ex-partner died there 3 years ago. She fell and hit her head and passed away. And then it's just different. No, there was just a few different things up and down and stuff like that financially and that. And I sort of drifted in and out a wee bit, but always hung about, and things are taking a turn for the better now. So that's me at it, dedicated in for the long haul now, and I think things are getting better every season at the game. You know what I mean? It's just, and I think this is going to be a very exciting season coming in here. You know what? I think even Anfield, he's come back. He joined up today again. He's been buying horses there all day, and he's back on Field Road, so he'll be playing as well.
Well, I didn't see him. Okay, I'm glad he's back.
I was trying to get him on the night. I says, why don't you come on the night just to give your thoughts on the whole thing? But he said no.
We'll get him. We're going to get everybody eventually.
A little too much too quick.
Yeah, we'll get everybody.
Eddie's going to come on as well. And Eddie, I know you said you'll be watching this later, TNT. He was going to come on the night, but he had to go out. So he says he'll definitely be on in the next few weeks. No. He wanted to get talking to Pancho. He says, and when are you going to win 900 races in a season like him? He says, you're not the true champ until you do that.
We were discussing earlier, Bob and I think Foggy, how many championships have you won?
To be honest, I asked Bossman recently to clarify how much, because the championships is like every 4 months, right?
Yes.
All right, because so my recollection, when I first came, as I said, was 10 days into a season, to end the season. So I discount that. My first season, I came 5th. First season, I was 3rd. Then I won like 3-4 straight championships. Yeah. Then I lost one through my kind of neglect. But if I played good,
was that when Kingston won? Yeah.
Beautiful. I was away for a month, you know how it goes, but props to sing. And then when I came back, I haven't lost yet.
Yep.
This is the fifth one. So
how many championship races have you won with claims off new stables?
Well,
I know.
I have to admit this season.
Where's your moral compass, man?
If I tell you who taught me that, was Bossman. Taught me that part of the game. But this year I had some success with some claims that I claimed from Indu. And I know he watching me. Most of them G1 coming down there was some of his horses I claimed. It's just a matter of having a good eye out for a good horse. And I believe I could get any horse to run.
I constantly see a horse of mine claimed by you for 10,000, 15. The next thing I know, it's an allowance or a stakes race. Doing well. So I'm on the I don't think you won a championship, luckily, with one of mine, but I know you make them better than what I run them. But
well, I try my best.
You do quite well.
Tell me this, Pancho. Do you have a strategy that you look at every horse you get? Do you look at a horse's times? Do you know about a horse's times? Is there a certain time you would look at, like the 6 furlong or the mile and 8th, that you would say, right, well, that horse is definitely going to be better over that distance and that distance? Or do you solely work off the 6 furlong?
No, I go over the different distances. Because in my time here, I've been surprised by a few sprinters that people deem sprinters that carry their speed over a mile and eight, and surprise a lot of people. Surprise them, even to do a mile and a quarter. So I look at from times from 6 go all the way up to, let's say, a mile and a, well, I wouldn't say a mile and a half, but a mile and a eight. I don't always look at the ratings, but I look at the conforms. But conforms are not everything. Because to me, always a digital game, it still comes down to the heart of the horse. Because I had some horses rated 100 that beaten my horses that is 108 and 107 with ease.
Yeah.
With ease. And some of them make $1 million for me already. And bending knees is one, dry cry is one. And those are 101 and 102 rated horses.
Well, that kind of
My experience with stairs is a lot of stairs of poor conforms or conforms, whatever you want to call them. Like all the good stairs I have will be like good, excellent, good, very good. There's very few excellents in any decent stairs I've ever had, and they're always sort of like 101 to 103 tops.
Correct.
Rate. You never see a horse rate a good stair with a high horse rating.
I got
one. Would you agree? What he said?
I have one.
But that's the new sales ring. I'm surprised you run that in over 5 furlongs. I couldn't believe it. When you run horses in the mail and the ultra even said to the night, what's going on here? Thought you clicked the wrong box or something.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Every time you see a 5 furlong race, Black Ace will be in that. There's no doubt about it.
3 times.
3 horses on it.
Well, some of those are just breeders that I'm running, and it's too painful to watch them go further. So some of the non-competitive breeders. So why do I breed with them, you ask? I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so of all your experiences here, Pancho, Gary, you're going to get answers to what's your favorite horse you've ever had here at Digital Downs?
That I own personally?
At Digital Downs.
In Digital Downs, when I came about, I heard about Foggy's horse that won the only horse still to win the Triple Crown. Amazing horse. Like that very, very much. I think Tuck owned that horse also when I now started on Greco. It turned my head around, and those are the guys I kind of channel my game after. Wanted to be like Tuck, ruthless, no mercy. Don't take your foot off the tiger's throat at all. I learned that from Tuck. So I wanted to be good and not just stay for what you do. I always want to get better. Each season go by, I want to make different accomplishments. So I set my goals pretty high, and each season I try to go above it and above it and above it. I love the competition. The competition is what has pushed me. When I don't get competition, I be gazing like a horse without blinkers. I be looking left, looking right, looking right. I want the competition on my back right through. That is one of the best in me. The competition. I hope Eddie hear that, The competition. Yeah, I'm watching over my shoulder all the time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you just mentioned Forgotten Magic.
Yeah, I did.
I believe
because that's required on the show.
He did mention Forgotten Magic.
Yeah.
That's required on the show.
Yeah, well, when I came here, I have to give props to props is due. Correct.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now, what was
I think those 2 first championships when I came 5th and 3rd was either Greco won one and Foggy won the other one, or it could be back the other way, Foggy and Greco. But I remember it well.
What was the create you got maybe 3 years ago or so, 3 calendar years ago? You were just, when I first started, you had a create that was winning everything, but I cannot remember the name of it.
It was a rap name. I named him after the PT didn't end up to breed. Which I think is more money, more problems.
Something like that. Okay, yeah.
More money, more problems.
And that was like a Christmas gift or something.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Wow.
And I told Boss Man, I said, this crate is going to win some race. He told me, seriously? I said, yes, it's going to do some numbers.
Yeah, it did. It won a lot.
He surprised me. Back crate. Best crate I ever owned.
Yep. Gary, you have a favorite?
Well, when I first started, I had a horse called Hoist the Diva. I'll never forget that horse. Yeah. When I first started, it was I won something like his first 5 races or something like that there. and it done quite well. But like Arctic Warrior is going to be one of the all-time greats on the site.
Yeah.
Stan's horse, it definitely is. Like, there's no doubt about it. Perfect toy. It was great. It was even when I actually retired it the day of the breeding.
Yeah.
So it did.
All that. It's already all 15. He's been busy.
Yep. It hasn't produced very much now, I can tell you. But I thought it would, just because it'll be flipping again anyhow now at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't really the horses I wanted to breed it with, but promised a few breeds to Pat and that when I bought it. It was part of the deal when I bought the horse.
Yeah.
So he'll get a couple at the start of the season off it. And
well, he had promised 3 to me. So did he tell you that?
No. And even if he did, it's tough shit.
Okay, so we have a question for you, Gary, that's come from the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And here I'm going to post it up.
Is Gary Pipe legal?
Oh. We keep saying you covered, buddy.
Oh, I love this thing here. I stopped smoking about 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is my saving grace. Like, I was getting wild heavy on them. Like, I was smoking near 20 a day. Like, so I started on to this. So it's a lot cheaper. £10 does me 2 weeks in this.
Oh, okay.
It's costing me £12 to £15 a day for a packet of cigarettes. Like, so do the maths, you know.
So the answer is yes. It is legal. Okay, now.
No funny stuff. All right.
Do you guys, you touched on a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about racing at Digital Downs. Do you have a favorite distance that you would prefer, that, like, when you see a horse, like, you know me, it's the 4 and 5 furlongs. Do you have a, well, and you know why? I don't hide it. Why? Because I can't screw them up that bad. But do you have, like, do you love, wish you get all stayers or 90% stayers? Or which, I'll let you
I do. I like stayers. I like the staying horses. You know, I've won a few of the championships of staying horses and stuff like that. When I first started, it was the championships, and then it went to Breeders' Cups. But I always seem to do better with stayers. I don't know whether it was the simple fact that other people didn't really realize what a decent stayer was, because still to this day, a lot of people see 108.7 and they think the horse is no good. You know what I mean? They don't look at the closing time and the opening time and things like that. I shake my head sometimes, you know what I mean? That I see what people shoot. I would go through and look at the horses that have been bought out of, you know, the sales ring, and I'll maybe pick a sire and I'll go down and I'll click on the horse and see retired. And the horse is maybe doing like 22.51, 45.68, and then the closing time is like 108.72 or something, and they've shot it. And I'm in disbelief, because, you know, the simple fact, they're not saying what they think is a magic number of 108.5 or 108.4. They think the horse is no good, because I think there's been a lot of false perceptions put out about that with horses. You know what I mean? That a horse has to be doing like 108.5 to be even competitive in races, which has been proven more and more every day that it's not the case. Like,
that's true.
I'm sure even when there was one of Induna's horses there, he's actually on holiday at the minute. I'm actually meeting up with him tomorrow night. We're going out for a meal tomorrow night. He's in Ireland here at the minute.
Oh boy.
But he couldn't. He asked me to enter his horse for him, Island Chief or something. That's only 99 rated. It won a consolation. You know, it won.
Back up again. What did you refer to that as? A Yankee name?
No, Island Chief.
Okay. It's a Yankee name. It's like, what?
I think the horse was called Island Chief. Okay. Plus, the horse that I sold him, Love's Desire. It won the championship. It won the Stayers Champ. I told him when I sold him, I says, I'm selling you the winner of the Breeders' Cup Stayers here. Like, and he was laughing at me.
Why'd
I
you
said,
sell it then?
what?
Why'd you sell it?
Because I owed him a few favors. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He gave me some breeds in the past and stuff like that there. And
Okay.
I says, look, I'll sell you this horse here. And it won the championship or the stairs for him, which I'm happy about because I've still a couple of breeds to come back off the horse anyhow when he retires it. So,
well, assuming he doesn't sell it, and then that person says,
would you worry
you, like I just got Pancho.
Yes.
Tell us if you have a distance.
Well, to be honest, something like Gary, but my specific horse, I want to sprint and stay. Might sound greedy, but I love a sprinter who could carry his speed. Love it to the max. I try to turn some of my stairs to sprinters, which is bad, as Gary said, but I get some results. Because to me, I get a stair, I might make him go 5 4, might win, but he'll be flying and I'll pass smile on my face now. So I use a lot of prep races for other races, and like a strategy now. I do that a lot. But I love a sprinter, or even a middle distance horse, a mile and 8 horse, who could carry it to a mile and 3 to a mile and a half. Yeah, but ideally, I love sprinters.
Okay, Steve, what do you?
Well, I mean, I like the horses that I get the least of, right? So I get very few stayers during my time, and kind of like Pancho, I try and stretch out some of my classic horses, but you know it's hit or miss, you know, when you're going for that. But yeah, I'd prefer to have more stayers. Unfortunately, I end up with mostly classic 7 furlong to 9 furlong type horses that, you know, that can sprint 6 furlongs every once in a while. That's what I end up breeding a lot of with my internal home breeds. So
yeah,
there you go.
You're doing well this season, Steve. Like, you're getting plenty of winners.
Yeah, I usually ride in the top 10 somewhere, you know, but most of my horses
so casual,
well, no, like in the bottom half of it, in the bottom half of the top 10. Let me put it that way. I'm usually there. I'm not usually in the top half, but my horses this time of season start dying off. Like I can't. Just financially, the way I play the game, I can't constantly replenish. So at this time of the season, my stable gets a little thin on wins, but because I race my horses quite a bit, I guess. But
yeah. What's your best ever season, Pancho? What was your best ever season? What's the one that stands out for you the most, like in all the championships that you've won?
I would say season 50 was special, not because there's only 50. It would have been the first time I think anybody had won the championship 4 or 5 times. So that's kind of special to me. I think also I had 100 state wins, which was an accomplishment. I set my goal at 70 or 75 for the season, and I far exceeded it. Even in monies won, it was over 20 million. So everything was like just wow, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to look at my stables as a claiming stables. When I now started, that's what I used to do.
Hey, there he is. Okay, bring him in. All right, he gets to come in. Put him on.
You want to talk with me, gentlemen?
There he is. Wave to us.
Yeah, going all shy now.
No, he doesn't.
Come
on.
He's shy. I just look at myself as more having a claiming stables. And one person told me you can't win the championship unless you have claiming horses. You must have claiming horses to win the championship. So I took it to heart, and I kind of had plenty claimers. You know, I didn't used to do much breeding. I still don't visit the sales ring that often, so the trilogy get past me. As boss, I might have said that's the advantage now. If Pancho got a trilogy, or actually in full, you know. But I say season 50 was nice.
I can't imagine winning that much.
Yeah.
Have I won that much in my career? I don't even.
How long does it take you to get all your horses entered, Pancho? Like, you do have a lot of horses entered.
I have so many horses, guy. But something I open a folder and I say, "Whoa, you here? Wow, this is here." But normally on a good day, as I told you, sometime when I used to go to work for like 7:30 in the morning, I would get up like 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 latest, and start to do entries. It would take me at least 2 to 2.5 hours to do 3 or 4 folders of horses I have for entries. And that still didn't cover everybody. If you notice, sometimes the Pancho has 7 horses enter. That means I was around during the day. Then you'll see at the Pancho have 50 horses enter. And about 2 hours of entry time, 2.5. But for me, it takes me a whole month to train horses when the season starts over. And then I still train the horses I have here. I still have horses and freezers, like 3-year-olds who prepping for the eliminators, 2-year-olds, and I have a lot of breeders also. I have too many horses, Gary. Way too much.
Well, tell me about it.
Okay, so that's my next. Before I get to how you guys race, where you like to race, I just want to ask you about the different series. I assume everybody loves the BC series and Crown, which is the best of all. Is there any other series that you literally focus on and say, like Berkey, he just loves Eliminator, but is it just
I never would have guessed.
is it for the big stuff, a Triple Crown? What, like, you go into a season, Pancho, saying, I really want to focus on this particular series, or you just try to take them all?
Well, to be honest, when I still not started, but in the past, Bossman would have certain series going towards points for the monthlies. I used to go in series that giving points to the monthlies. That's what I used to do. I didn't used to focus on any particular one. Because after a couple of months, I think was Candy was winning the monthlies all the time. Yes. I told Bossman, I said, Bossman, anybody can have a good month or two, but it takes a warrior to be at the top after 4 months. And he said, all right. He said, but don't worry, you're champion. I tell him I'll make adjustments and I'll come out stronger. And I did that the next thing. I won the monthly. I started to concentrate on the monthly now. I took all my focus off everything. I said, all right, you want Pancho behind you? Pancho coming at you. And that's it.
So, you don't want that.
You're on for the money this month.
And to be honest, this month I took my foot off the pedal a little bit. And
I don't be making excuses.
I didn't do no entries yesterday. I ain't do none for today yet. And I saw just behind you, Lee. I said, whoa, I'm coming for the overall.
Yeah, I know. I can see you coming.
I ain't had nothing to run today, but Grace, I'm coming out from tomorrow, go back. At least
I fully expect to be looking at you from behind sooner or later. That's fine. Hey, it's the best month I've had in my life here. So
no, you're doing very well, very well. I must applaud.
Can you just kind of lay back a bit and let me win?
Yeah. Well, that's not a problem. You have no fear. You have no fear. Looking good. I only did that to because Eddie teased me the other day, because Eddie did tell me, wait, now you're so low down in the standings, in the overalls now. I said, but I wasn't really entering any horses. I was just watching. Because then I had the championship sewn up. And then he told me he was running me down for the overall money won for the season now. At that time, it was like $100 apart. So I said, wait, now, Eddie's serious? So you see what I do now? Whoop. I put $1 million on him. So let us see come back and catch me now. I'm taking the foot off the gas again.
Oh, boy. So you guys big on the Eliminator? You guys gonna hit it hard, or Berkey's there waiting for you?
I would normally each age group more now with the 4-year-olds. I'll probably enter about 20 into the 4-year-olds, probably about 20 into the 3-year-olds, and 20 into the 2-year-olds.
Okay.
I think that's ample, because don't get me wrong, Berkey, he loves it. You know what I mean? He goes at it nearly 4 or 5 in each heat.
I think he looks at it like March Madness here in the States, where we have the college basketball. I mean, that's really what the Eliminator acts like, a big tournament. So
yeah, sure.
The season I won the Eliminator with the horse 9 Acres. Believe it or not, that horse run on Jockey decides every single race.
Oh,
I couldn't make my mind up on what to put it in on. So
wait a minute. Why do you keep stealing my future questions?
I'm a mind reader.
I'm shutting you off right now. You will speak 2 words. You're going to get yes or no answers.
Sorry, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Mm.
So Pancho, you big player in the Eliminators?
Yeah, I won it twice. It was exciting. At first, I just put a couple, but I like the thrill. I like the uncertainty of any horse could perform. And as I said, AMRS once told me the best horse does not always win the race. Sometimes, it's a good portfolio to showcase your horses, no matter what class.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. We got that number 2. That one's not getting much food. What the heck?
And then I have something in the 4-year-old eliminator this season that I got from Gary in the sale recently. And 1-1, Mr. Freezer.
Yeah, I see that.
I saw you. I saw it. Yeah.
I put him on the freezer to bring him out in the eliminator. That winners are 2. And I took one from Foggy too. That one too.
Yeah.
What I think. And I put that down too. For the eliminator coming. So I have about 20 or 30. I have some in my freezer to bring out too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is what I'm curious about as well.
Like Gary does, though, dude. Like Gary's got frozen solid. He needs someone to go down.
The thing is, you look at, there's a lot of horses start really kicking in a 3-year-old that haven't been raced at 2. You get your monsters come out at 3. There's Love's Desire was I think it raced about twice as a 3-year-old, and it started off in the Eliminator. It run once, I think it maybe won, and then it didn't place. I stuck it back in the freezer.
Yeah,
it came out at 4. It actually, I think it broke the track record at 1.5 miles or 1.3 miles. I can't mind whatever it was, and it's won something like 8 or 900,000 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, it's just my concept and the whole thing. Will there be horses coming out at 4 the way they come out at 3 and start becoming, like monster horses? Like your Noble Ladies and your X-Files and horses like that. Because there's so many horses laying in freezer, put in the barns and not raced at 2 and 3, held back to 4. Is it going to get to that stage where there'll be like a super horse coming out every season? Do you think that's a possibility, or?
I think so.
I think anything is possible with racing, and yes, I believe you could get a horse a super coming out at 4. Yes, I believe so. I've seen some horses do sometimes from 3 to 4 that has just turned your head around. I said, wow, whoa. And in the early days, I didn't believe horses could run past 4. I never did. I used to retire. Now I have horses 6 years running. I'm wondering right now who might have to retire. The doctor's orders. My first horse that tried over the 2 million marker. He's running a sort of 4th and 5th right now. He can't handle it no more. And he's on 108.75. So he might hit the breeding shed.
What's his rating? What was his rating?
108.75. Doctor's orders. He has 19 stakes wins. I'm trying to get 20, but it's hard. Was
he your homebred or was he a sales ring?
He was a sales ring.
Did you have him from start to finish?
Yeah, correct. From start to finish.
I can't tell you that whoever sold it to you promised me 3 breeds. I can't tell you that. So you guys buying yearlings? You guys been scraping up yearlings?
I've bought some. I've got some nice ones as well. Like I'm in 2 minds whether to put a few into the auction or not. I don't know. I think of about 30 odd altogether.
Okay.
Some homebred, some out of the ring, but I have got some nice types. But again, it's going to be one of these. Is it going to be a super fast workhorse that'll not perform on the track? You know what I mean? Because I remember when it first started, I bought a horse. It was called Victory Salute, and it was a yearling, and it was doing like 108.46. And it was shown as a sprinter, but his times the whole way up were like 2:32.2. It was really, really fast times. And I couldn't raise a gallop, even at 3 and 4. I'd never done a thing. It sort of put me off yearlings a wee bit. But then a few seasons after, I've bought a few yearlings and they've done all right. Like, you know what I mean? They've done well.
Yeah.
And I'm always a wee bit skeptical with yearlings. I'm always a wee bit skeptical with them.
But what you said, it could be true of a 2-year-old too, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I think it's. I haven't had the greatest of luck, but I haven't really bought them like I buy the others, so I can't really say I qualify as someone to say that. But I think it's like everything. It's random. Just depends on what you get and you know how they perform. But you buy a lot, Pancho, from the yearlings, or I know you say you don't go to the ring that much, but
No, I don't. But I only visit during really the ending of the season and the beginning of the next season, which is for the limiters really. But I more like to do in-house breeding. That's what I'm more like. So I look for when Bossman comes out with the breeding specials and I breed up a storm. So I'm trying to beg him now to bring specials for Kentucky because that's the only thing I see for the monthlies he often have blue ticket for. So I told him I don't go to the sales ring, so I don't have much Kentucky horses. So I'm not Eddie. So give me an opportunity to breed.
It's the opposite problem. You want more like you.
Yeah. So I'm trying.
I don't think you're gonna get that one. I think you're gonna have to go to the sales.
I don't think so either. I don't think possible to buy sales ring horses. So as I told him, I adjust and I'll just come out different. So I come into a different strategy to the beginning of next season. I have a yearling, like I put in the one recently, the 2-year-old, 110, before he excelled good and he sold. I have a yearling that I bred. I think he's 104 or 105 rating, but he's doing 106 and 108.50. So as a yearling, it's a little scary. Put him not, but I might put him. So I have the pairs.
But you couldn't retire your breeders that aren't Kentucky, though. You can retire them.
And switch them now to Kentucky. Well, I did a few, so now I changed the strategy. So
I know what you're doing. You're figuring out how to win at every track. You're not fooling me. I know what you're doing.
I actually do that when Bossman challenged me. I was quiet, and he come and hear us, man. You know, he said, you're low down in the standings. As in the monthlies now. So I'm not racing much. So he kind of light the fire back underneath me, so finishing strong. But don't worry, me and you good. The foot is off the for the overall. I will bow down to you from now. You see? Yes.
Question for you, Pancho. Why do you hide your time trials and all your horses or your works? Is it just a personal preference that you don't want people to see what they're doing, or is there a reasoning behind it?
Well, reasoning is going back some season. Bossman, once again, when people see a timing, they know how to, I wouldn't say anticipate, but they could forward something against you. I'm not saying I give you that 2 horses in the race, but they could prep for you. Because they have an idea at the times you're doing. I might have an idea at the times I doing, but I know racing also has to do with racing luck, jockey, probably track preference and other things. But we always have a horse do it. So I
lost you.
Your sound's going there, Pancho. Did you cover your mic?
From Bossman when he used to be ruthless racing. So I just take that come down the line now.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because every time you see your horses and you look down through the forum, you've always got the 1.5 miles, showing like 234 or whatever.
So if you want a little insight to Pancho, you have to claim a horse from me and go through how I do the trading. And that's the insight. That's how you had to know for sure now. You had to take one from it. But all more or less are the same.
He's trying to avoid the revenge claimer. So how many, do you mind telling us how many horses you currently run with in your stable?
Whoa, right now actively I could have over 200 plus horses active. And that's active in racing, and I have breeders could be close to 200 also.
Oh,
and some are still where I just put in the freezer to bring back out for next season.
Wow.
Some of the trails I'd run recently was in the freezer, and they go into the eliminator next month. I have way plenty horses, plenty. And Gary helped me with some recently, as I said. that Mr. Freezer guy, mwah, is gonna
You want to see my freezer stable?
yes.
Some other stable said to me, "Why are you not running them?" Like I says, I just simply don't have time to sit down and go through them all. Like
Yes, yes. And he
How
going all
many
the
you
way
have?
to a
How
mile
many
and
you
a
have,
half.
Gary?
And he going all the way to
How
a mile
many
and a half.
non-freezers
So,
do you have, Gary?
how many horses? I would say I have about 150 in the freezer.
No. How many non-freezers?
Many non-freezers? Oh, probably about 150 non-freezers as well. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I've over 300 horses in my stable. I have about 120 odd in my breeding stable or my breeding barn.
Here we go. Tony says that's a huge freezer. Your Con Edisonville, which is an electric company.
You better believe it. But as I say, just what happens is I come home some nights and I'm sitting here and I'll maybe turn around and buy 10 or 20 horses or breed 10 or 20 horses. Then I forget what times they're doing. And then they're sitting in this barn that I forget to look at. And before I realize it, maybe a month or two has passed. And it's only when I start going back through them again, I'm going, shit, there's one there. Never seen that. I'll say that later. I forget all about it again because you get that tired to go away on to bed.
Well, that's all right. That's all right, Gary. When I go to enter some of mine, they ran the day before, and I say, that's a new one to me. I don't have I can't have a freezer. They would freeze to death. So we kind of touched on this a little bit, but my next question was like, how do you acquire the majority of your horses? Pancho, you do almost all home breeding.
yeah, and I do a little claim, but as I said, I do visit the ring now and again. But more claiming and home breeding are my strategies for now.
That's amazing. You could continue. Man, you must have some massive breeders. I don't see those Pancho breeders on the public page. Where are they hiding?
I very rarely put on horses on the breeding page. Yeah. Now I started to put some in the sales ring, not sales ring, but in the auctions. So I started. So you'll see, I put some out.
That's a nice one you put in the auction. I'll say that. Yeah. If that's the kind he's selling, I can't imagine what he's holding.
That's what I said when the auction was on.
The one I kept was a 109. He was less good. That one was 110. He was a 109 I kept, and that was from the same breeding. So I said, let me try and see what the auction was.
Yeah.
And the one I tell you, the yelling is the same breeding too. So so I might show that out. So those parents doing really well. Yeah. So I can't wait for the new season to breed some 2 years out of the same bloodline again.
Nice.
Have you raced your 112.50 yet, Lee? Have you?
No, I saw it. The 110?
No, Lee's got a 112.50 horse rated.
Just going for yeah, I put him in 3-5 furlong races.
3-5 furlong? Okay.
No. He's ran 3 times. He won once.
Right.
Okay.
He's run tonight, actually.
Right.
Okay.
Cowboy Stakes or something. So, Gary, I don't think I let you answer about breeding versus sales ring versus main page. Are you more of a breeder or a sales ring guy?
Well, this season coming in, I will be doing a lot more home breeding because I have such a stock of home breeding. Basically, it's like my own personal sales ring now, if you know what I mean. But I just have to try and find the right balance with confirms and stuff to get them bred right. You know, I'm still learning that part of the game. I still do dip into the sales ring every now and again. I'll win if I win a few pound or win a couple of big races. Always in about 3 or 4 out of the winnings because I like to put the money back into the game, sort of thing as well. And try and get a few new bloodlines into the stable as well. See what way it goes. As I say, I've no real set plan in my head. I'm just very much on the whim, if you know.
Yeah.
All depends what sort of mood I'm in the day and stuff like that. Yeah. But I have so many breeders now, I don't know what the hell I have. You understand what I mean?
Well, almost all of them. I have 3 free breeds too, if you remember. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you a fourth saying you've waited so long.
Yeah, thank you. So when you, I got to talk a little bit about racing again. So when you enter your horses, like Gary's showing us how to fill his thing up, and it's time to pick a jockey. I asked this last week. You guys have your own little chart? Do you use the information from the drop down when you go to enter them, or how do you?
I used to have default jockey. I will not, a list of the jockeys and stuff like that there. But then, as the season was going on, you seen some jockeys dropping away back with their percentages, and some jockeys. So I just basically now, when I'm entering, I'll go down the list. I'll hover over the names and go down the list and see who's doing well or who's improving. I sort of try and keep an eye on what jockeys is getting better, what percentages are going up and down. And, again, I think it's a lot to do with the surface as well. Jockeys are going better on evening, soft, and you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I'll say I'll just turn around. I'll, work off it at the time. But saying that, I've started doing that this season, and it's been my worst season ever on digital downs. You know what I mean? So maybe that's saying, but I haven't put as much thought into the racing and all as I have done previous seasons.
So you're going to blame it on the jockeys.
I will have to blame it on something. I'm not going to blame myself. But yeah, it's just sometimes I keep saying to myself, I just need to take a step back and start reassessing everything, because I know I have some great horses there, and they're not being raced to their proper potential. That sort of way where I need to turn around and come into the season and start getting things sorted out.
What do you do?
I'm something like Gary. I look at the percentages, win percentages, or sometimes I go with that certain jockey does go, a horse goes best for a certain jockey. One thing I don't change a winning combination. I don't.
Yeah.
I look at pull the drop down by how a jockey is doing at the particular track, the win percentage, the in the money percentage, and I pick a jock through that. I don't have a particular or favorite jock, but I work with the percentages.
Yeah. But if a jockey just ran on your horse and won, you'll go right back to him.
Yeah, definitely. I don't change our winning combination. Once I have the opportunity and he's at that particular track, he stays on board. No matter what his percentage is at our track, he will stay on board.
Nice. Yeah. Now, along the lines of jockeys, Pancho, how did you pick your jockey colors?
Those are colors that I like. The pink and black. Yeah, I went to that personal preference. Other than that, I like orange and black. So I decided
to touch your feminine side. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Now,
how about you over there? Freezer, Mr. Freezer, how do you pick your how'd you pick that yellow? Did Bob design it for you? You can admit it.
What do you say?
How'd you get your jockey colors?
I was just a random pick one day. It was
it doesn't mean anything. There's no meaning.
No, it doesn't mean. Well, there was a horse album photo that I used to follow, and that was its colors as well. You know what I mean? It was just one day I says I'll stick them colors on. Like the colors I used to race with on the other side were like a luminous pink and a luminous green. Nice. Which were, the popped in a race, like, they really stood out.
Your horse. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're entering your races, do you go to a horse and enter it right away? Do you queue up a horse? Both? Or do you just I want to get it done, the horse is going in, or do you enter it and then queue it for the next one? Kind of curious how some.
Well, I do queue horses sometimes, but I do think the site would be better, and I've said this to Bob as well, if there was a multi-queue for each horse, where you could queue 3 or 4 races, where you can look like a month in advance.
Progression,
okay. Yeah, no, but if you can look a month in advance and you can say, right, well, there's the races I want for that horse there. You can only queue one race at a time now.
Yeah.
Which, then you're saying I need to but you forget about it. And then you miss the race and things like that there, which has happened several times with me. And I'll be sitting effing and blind going, I missed that race because I forgot to queue it. Because if I'm sitting with a horse, I'll look down maybe a month or so in advance or whatever's shown. And I look down and say, well, I want that horse in that race and that race and that race. If there was a multi-queue for each horse where you can maybe queue up to 3 or 4 races, it would be a lot handier and better for entering. You know what I mean? You can queue them, and then when it runs, you can go in maybe a day or two later and go, right, well, I need to enter that race there, and keep clicking, and you'll get into a routine of going to your queued races. Would you not agree, Pancho? Wouldn't it be a lot easier that way when you have so many horses? When you're going down each horse, you can look.
And it will also be time consuming also.
Yeah.
Also, because it's very difficult, as Gary said, and with real life thing, when you have 200-300 plus horses, it's difficult. I go through a folder, each folder has about 50 horses. And I go through each and every one and queue, and then I go back to enter. So it is very, very time consuming. It will be a nice addition going forward if we could get it like that.
Okay, now has either of you put that in the request?
Yeah, I have a couple of times.
Right, so Bob's probably looking at it. Then you keep talking like that, and Bob's going to come in here and he's going to take over the show, and then I'm going to talk to you guys. So now, this is the question for you guys. And if I'm taking too long and you need to leave, just tell me.
No, I'm here for the duration.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. Right here, Johnny on the spot has just replied to your question. It's coming.
It's coming. So's Christmas. So's Christmas.
Yeah. Now he'll definitely want to come on the show. So be quiet. Okay.
Don't let him in, Lee. Don't let him in.
I can't. He owns it. I can't keep him out. Okay. Let's pretend like we have a really nice, decent, above average looking mate, which I know you all get. At what point do you consider it a blue blood versus a regular, or does the schedule come into effect? Like, there's a blue blood now, but not later? Or like, how do you say this is definitely a blue blood?
You think that first, Gary?
Well, the way I look at it, I get a horse. It's a decent horse rating and decent work times. To me, it's worth a shot. You know what I mean? You have to take a go at it. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a horse 103 or over, and it's showing nice works, it'll definitely go into, blue blood. You know what I mean? To me, it's worth the $20. It's worth taking that shot at it. If it wins, the rewards are great. If it doesn't, at least it's opened up to an alliance or a reveal or whatever next. You know what I mean? I've had many this season that I thought were going to be a lot better than they were. And but that's me. Sometimes I just get fixated on a few horses. You know what I mean? And one's getting left behind.
So, but the other thing is, if it was still good enough to be in that blue blood and it didn't win, you can bring her right back in another one.
I was thought of wrong.
What if you finished all year second in every blue blood race? You'd be doing pretty good with the horse.
I have horses there that have never won a race and they've like maybe a couple of $100 in earnings. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But they're competitive. They're showing a profit. You know what I mean? Like, there's one that sold in the auction. I think Foggy bought it off me. Catch Me If You Can, the Sprinter. At $164 or something. You know what I mean? And the run there, I think 2 of them are blue bloods at place and a couple of the blue bloods. And there's money to be made with horses. Horses don't have to win to make money with them. You know what I mean? Horses can be very competitive. But the only thing is, you're always looking at when to get it into the stakes or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's kind of my next. But I'll let Pancho, if he's got an indicator he looks at, or if he's sort of the same as what you said.
Well, I will second what Gary say. I will look at times, workout times. I don't study much the rating or the confirms. I go with the times. Because the times, to me, the times is always run, not the ratings, neither the confirms. So I could have 100 rated horse doing a pretty okay time. I'll throw him in a blue blood. If he doesn't perform, and the reason I'll trim in another one is if I race them off surface. Like if you prefer turf and something on the dirt, I'll send him another blue blood on the turf. And then make it from there where I'll drop him into maiden, and go from there. But they will get at least 2 chances to show improvement, to continue in Bluebird or drop down into a maiden race, maiden special race also.
Okay.
I would
liberal of anybody probably that most people probably don't give them those chances, but maybe they do.
No.
Most horses 3 runs. If they don't do anything within 3 runs, put them away.
Yeah, some people do that. Get rid of them.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've won our maiden, okay? Whether it's a blue blood or not, okay? What's our next step? Do you ever take them right to a stake?
Asking the wrong.
Yeah. Oops, wait a minute. Wrong guess. Let me ask Pancho, you take this one.
Yeah, I will take them to stakes next run. Definitely.
Stakes. You
that one time into the fire one time.
You've only
That's
done
it.
it one time?
If you don't perform, I ain't getting rid of you. But I might, drop you back down, let you build your confidence again, and send you back one time. Especially if it's a horse I believe in and I know you could do it. Straight stakes. Can you pass?
Straight stakes, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I had horses that I didn't run stakes. I waited till late down in the season playing cautious, and they stunned me. They turned up my whole stable when I did decide to run them stakes. So I started making a mistake no more. Again, stakes one time after you win.
Well, I know Gary, halfway through the race, he's already looking to enter it. Halfway through its maiden, he's already looking for the entry for the stakes.
I'll tell you the reason why I would go stakes a lot is because you win the blue blood. You may have to wait a week or 2 weeks for a reveal or something to come up. You know what I mean? Where the stakes is always, or the graded was always a handy option. You knew they were running on a Saturday, and you had one that, you have the sprint, you have the classic, you have the stair. So you have the option there to put the horse into that to get a chance to win decent prize money,
Yeah. Now that's your blue blood winner. What about your regular maiden winner? Does he go right to stakes? Or?
Well, regular stakes, I'll probably. Now and again, if there's a divs or something like that there, I'll maybe try that, or I'll go for a reveal, But again, it's very much because I don't sit down and have all my horses because that's where I would like the queuing thing where, I get a horse I'm at the stage now, I have enough horses, I'm going to pick a select, 50 or 60 to run every season. And at least then, with all the stake races and all coming up now, because you know yourself, Pancho, you end up with so many horses, similar types. Like you've maybe like 10 6-furlong horses, 10 5-furlong horses, 10. At least if you can queue them all, and you can enter a certain few in certain races, and then queue them for the next cycle coming around. At least that way, you can sit down one day a month, and then you have them all queued. At least it's only a matter of going down and clicking in the dates that they're coming up. Just enter. Or you're not getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's sleepy on the job. And sometimes I used to get entries in, I used to be upset.
When you guys enter your race and you put your instruction in, do you ever come back and change it, or do you just let them go with what you put them in at? Or you don't have to tell me if you don't want to tell me.
I've changed it. Yeah, I've changed it a few times, and it's worked for me. You know what I mean? It'll all depend. I will have a look at the field. If I have time, I'll sit down and say, I have it, where I'm sort of expecting an inside draw. I'll maybe select, like a more of a steady run or a close or something. All depending on the distance and everything else. Again, a lot of it's to do with the going. You know what I mean? The length of the sport and stuff like that.
I figure if you have that many entries, do you go back and, especially Pancho, do you go back and actually? I mean, obviously, sometimes, sorry to try to answer for you, but I think there's the comments of people that'll change their one hole or their 8.
So true. Well, personally, again, I don't change it. I leave it alone. But learning now coming, the only thing that might change going forward is the number one draw. Lord have mercy. You put close, you put rest, you put steady, he goes to front. And, it doesn't matter what you put in the hole, in the one hole. The horse goes. I saw a dead stare I had, tried to make all from the one hole. I said, whoa. But any other position gate, I leave it. I leave a push on 8, push on 10, I leave it. I'm not changing it. And I've had success like that to date.
I'm glad you answered that question that way.
Yeah.
I always thought, God, these people must look at who's the inside speed, and I'm sure some people do, and I'm sure they're quite successful.
The thing about this game, you could drive yourself mad. You could drive. See, when I first started, I used to drive myself insane trying to figure out what the best way was, and like I picked an instruction and left it. But as you say, you have it and relax, and the horse goes to the front, and you're sitting going, what instruction is everybody else on here? Because the horse isn't fast. It's not fast out of the gate. And you're sitting going like, why is it doing this?
Up. The other horses got together against your horse. He thinks he's going to be in the back, but we're going to make him go front. It's funny. Now,
there's one thing that annoys me about this game. Sometimes you have a horse and it's on the outside and it's pushing up to the front. And it's just about to hit the front. Next thing, it throws the brakes on. And you're sitting going, and then it starts to run on at the end again, and you're sitting going like, what the actual?
I think we've all had that.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times.
You're watching a race and you're like, rails open.
And your horse is sitting out the back.
In to the 2 spot.
Sitting out the back is going
and then he goes up far enough where he can't move in.
But then you have one sitting out the back and it gets up ahead of steam as if it's coming to one. It runs straight up the back of an horse and stops dead.
Yeah, exactly so. I used to fret too, like when you get a horse on the outside in the early, I used to hate that. It's just so, gosh, boy, scratch. But through trial and error, I run it. I lose some, but surprisingly, I won some. I used to open my eye like, whoa. It's like recently with Stop Carrying News, when he won the Belmont from the outside, I was like, whoa. I said, I don't want to see that. I just click it twice.
Did you just mention Forgotten Magic again?
No, stop Carrying News.
Now, do you guys? Go ahead.
Sometimes, see if I can't make my mind up on instruction, I just stick Jockey to sides.
That's my next question. You like to steal my questions.
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, and I have claimed horses. I won't mention the owners, but I've claimed horses from various owners, and it does say Jockey to side. I actually won a race accidentally the other day on Jockey Decides. I guess I just forgot to pick it. But you use that a lot at all, Pancho, or do you test it?
I use it once or twice, and depending on certain distances, I will use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not you just discount and say, forget it. Like,
sometimes.
You will use it.
Jockey Decide, you still end up in front. And then sometimes that's what you're trying not to get to.
Well, plus, then you can blame the jockey when the race is over.
Exactly. So you know that jockey would be riding against for me at all. But if a jockey decides, I don't want you in front, and you go straight to front. Unless you're on the inside, I will forgive you. But from the outside, if it's a speedy horse, I'll take that.
You get no more Jockey Decides when you're on that. Now, you guys watch every single race you run, or do you just hit results every now and then?
Yeah, I do. It's quite time consuming, but I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Now, you have a favorite view to watch the race from?
Number 6. Watch the overhead.
Overhead. Oh, really? Okay. So you like to see
all the time. Because you can see where they're jostling for position, when they're going to get in, get out, whatever. It's a far better view than the rest of them.
You agree, Pancho? You watch?
Well, I was be switching in between views when the race is running. I watch it from when it starts, coming out the gate to the first bend. Then I switch the views going through the back, watching as guys see by the back. That's similar. If on the inside, on the outside, horses kicking dirt in your face, I watch, I analyze it.
How about when when there's no horse by the jockey and he still looks over to see what's going
Yeah,
on.
and
What's that all about? Like,
It's just-
I'm going back
when
to
I started,
it's
when I
just part of
started the
more
game,
like this.
I used to think that had something to do. But I says, "Jesus, must
did
be going
too.
easy enough here." He's looking around.
All right, he's checking, and then he's waving. He's
You see Poncho coming up beside you and you go, "Fuck off." Excuse the language.
I gotta ask you guys my favorite question. With all kinds of answers. What trainer has your number, or you think he has your number, and you hate to see that trainer in a race? I know it's gonna be hard for you,
Don't
Poncho.
like to say, Lee. Don't like to say.
It's tough for me. It's tough for me. And I have a few, but Gary is one.
Gary?
So,
Okay.
yes, it'll have Gary. It will have Induna.
And doing we get a lot of
Duna's doing really well. Like he's really starting to find his stride.
TNT and all too.
Yeah.
Candy and all too. All these guys come at the Pancho. So at any given day,
okay.
all of them come at me. So, but I get good competition from them. Fear them the most. Fear them the most. When they have horses in it, you just want to be watching. Wow, they might be close to Bobby today. I quite 10 and Bobby too. Oh God, like trouble. Pancho had too much to do there, So, but it's good fun. It's good fun.
Yeah.
Good competition.
The thing is, you've got your Ponchos and your TNT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are two names that are always feared. Anytime you see horses, you're going
right.
But Ray, you're Stan. Your Stan is somebody I really fear at the minute when I see his horses in.
Okay.
Brother? Who'd you say?
Stan. You're Stan. Trey said he's stable. His horses are.
And Stan, Tri-City.
You know what I mean? He is running great horses at the minute. He's doing really well, and I wish him every success. Like,
do you see the one he just
every time I see it, he's one or two horses in the race, and one of them's going to be coming at you. Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
He's a pain in the arse. I'm a stop the next time you see him, will you?
You're not inviting me to my house anymore.
Break his fingers so he can't enter.
Hey, one last question. It has nothing to do with anything that we've talked about, horse digital. You guys play, actually, two questions. You guys play on a computer? Play computer games?
No.
No, I play more Xbox with the kids. Xbox PlayStation.
Okay. What kind of game?
This is the only game I play online or anything else.
What kind of game the kids playing these days?
We play FIFA. We play Call of Duty, basketball, and NBA 2K, wrestling.
Okay.
They like Minecraft, games where we can all play together. Two player, 3 player. Monopoly and all is a nice game we play as a family. So and obviously they watch many horse racing when they're doing it. This is that that is it. Really time is need. Because when I sit down to the horse racing, I tell them no bother me. Make sure I get something. They tell the wife leave me alone. I lock the door. Because she knows I was not going on the computer for.
So. Do you have many kids, Poncho? How many kids do you have?
In all 4. 3 live with me. Yeah, my first is my eldest, 21, a daughter. She lives with her mother. The other 3 are with me.
Oh, okay.
There's 4 in all. That is the second to last one you saw. He's 8.
That was the second. Oh, you got a younger one.
Yeah. I have a younger one, a daughter. She's 7. And I have a 19-year-old son, too.
How about you, Gary?
I have 3 kids. They're all grew up now. There's one is 29.
Wait a minute. Here comes another one.
This is the 8-year-old one.
Don't wave.
Wave. And he loves
You're not going to talk to us, no?
Yeah. Come on.
She says, Daddy, I don't understand that strange man.
Yeah, he's like, God, those guys have accents.
And he plays FIFA like that. He loves FIFA too bad.
So what I got now for you guys, I need you to really pressure some of these people that are on the fence about coming on here and tell them it's fun. I mean, it's good time, hopefully, but I think they all think they're going to come on and be made fun of or ask questions of. I don't know. They all give me one of these weeks. So,
but I will come on. I will come on anytime with anybody else that wants to come on around.
Yeah, you bring them on and you interview them.
I talk to a lot of stables, you know what I mean?
Okay.
The only thing is with me is the time difference.
Right.
That's the problem.
We're flexible all the time. We're flexible.
Yeah.
Heck, I'm retired, Gary. I got nothing to do.
Must be great. The idle rich. The idle rich.
Okay. Well, any last questions anybody wants to ask each other or comment?
No, any questions for Gary? Well, Lee, I guess anytime you want me to come on, there's no problem. Just shoot me a note.
Glad to hear it.
I have some time.
I just want to say congratulations as well on your 1,000th winner.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I was telling him on the board. I didn't even know until Pat said something, and then I saw it on the little marquee. But I knew I had 900 and something, but I didn't know that. I had a better month than I normally do, so it came quick.
You've done well.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for joining me. It was.
I'm good. Just Pancho. All I'm saying is, try and slack off a wee bit in so many winners. Will you give the rest of us a chance?
Yeah. Remember that time when you said you sort of took some time off and
I did.
Well, play as much, just don't win as much, okay?
Okay.
I'm winning.
All right.
What you have to do too is tell boss man, don't light the fire underneath.
Yeah.
He's going to see me for some days. He does come where? What's his name?
The first show he hasn't jumped in on you, Lee,
What's that?
I think this is the first show that Tack hasn't jumped in.
Yeah. Oh, you bet he wanted to. He always
probably taping away like mad.
Yeah. Well, I always tell him there's a show over here in the States, and I can't sports show, and I can't remember what it's called, but they spend the whole show, discussing things. And at the end, this guy comes in for 2 minutes and says, "Here's the things that they did say that were wrong." That's talks about it. He needs to come in. He's just chomping to get in here and say, "Okay, there's not. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong." We didn't let him this time. He must be busy. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a good weekend. Good luck in the races.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck in the classics.
Yep.
Have you many in the classics, Pancho? That's what I meant to ask you before. Have you many in the classic races?
Yes, I have a few. I don't have none in the BC coming up. I think I have in the BC console. I don't have none in the final. Then I'm not make the final in the BC.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be part of the show. You guys are going to talk about your breedership or Breeders' Cup classic runners. And then I looked and I didn't think either one of you.
I don't have
one in the 4-year-old. Man and the Van. I think he might be a surprise package in that.
Okay.
All righty. We'll
right, I'm away.
Thanks for joining.
Good luck.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Okay.